Hey there guys, back with a black and white OU match. This one's going to be versus Ravengeboyz. Sorry for not being able to upload for some time. Just school and everything has been making things difficult. So let's just jump right into the thing. So you see I'm using my basic sand team. So I'm just going to lead with Tyranitar. I love Tyranitar when it's banded. It has such power and its special defense is just outstanding. Really, with it coupled with the HP stat it contains, it's really nice to check things such as Latios. So I'm actually just going to go straight for a crunch in case he wants to stay in. But I could have gone for Pursuit, taken out first turn and gained the 6-5 lead. But unfortunately, I do not, and I just go for a safer play. And so here I'm going to have to switch out into Rotom. He's going to set up Stealth Rocks this turn. Not something I really care about because nothing I have is truly weak to it besides Dragonite, which does play an important role against Sun teams. But I think I'm going to have to switch that out because it's weakness to Stealth Rocks and I lack a spinner. So that's unfortunate. So here he's going to switch out, probably expecting the HP Fire. But I'm going to go for a Volt Switch instead to trap whatever might come in next. And he's actually going to go into his Espeon. This means I basically have this down because Tyranitar does carry Pursuit. And he might not actually think that because he probably thinks it's a standard Tyranitar lead with Ice Beam, Fire Blast, Stealth Rocks, and Crunch. But he's going to see that I do carry the Pursuit, and that ultimately means that his Espeon is down, and basically he cannot counter my things such as Spikes. So he's going to go into his Conqueror. This is not something I really want to have to fight against, but I'm just going to send in Skarmory here. And he's actually going to go for the Stone Edge, probably predicting my Skarmory switch, but unfortunately will not do much because Skarmory has really nice defenses. And here he actually makes a very weird play, but though mine seems to make sense to me. So I'm going to actually make a double switch into my Dragonite just to counter the possibly incoming Magnezone, but he's actually going to go for a bulk up. This makes no sense to me because I could easily have just whirlwind him out, or I could have gone for a Brave Bird, either of which would either send him out of battle or do high amounts of damage to him. So that makes no sense to me. So here I'm going to go back into Skarmory just to whirlwind him out, and seeing as he's not going to do anything, he's probably just going to switch out of his own, actually. It's going to be a weird thing. He's going to go into his Jellicent. I don't know why he would send that in against a Dragonite, but okay. He's making some very weird plays here, but mine are a bit weird too, but I have some sense behind them at least. So I'm going to go switch out again. I'm going to go right into my Tyranitar just because I want this thing out of my face. I do not want to have to handle a Jellicent because the carrying of Taunt, not something I want to have to deal with. I can't really touch it with Jirachi, and I can't really hurt it outside of Tyranitar other than Dragonite and its Outrage. So I'm just going to go for another Pursuit here. Not another Pursuit. Well, yeah. So I'm going to go for a Pursuit right here, and it's going to hit it for about above half. And he's going to go for a Scald, actually. Bit of a risky play, seeing as he doesn't actually even get the burn, and ultimately fails. So he's actually just sacking his Jellicent right here, which makes no sense. But he really could have tried to preserve it at least. But I did go for the Pursuit, so he was trapped. So it's okay. It makes some sense on that play. So he's going to actually try to switch out this turn for no apparent reason, and he's just going to go for it. So he's going to actually send in Hydreigon right here, and I'm pretty sure it carries the Focus Blast, but I'd rather be sure, and I'd send in Jirachi in case he does want to try to KO with a Draco Meteor. So he's going to go for the Focus Blast here, and that's going to do about 33% or so. Does quite a bit amount. Not something too alarming because I can recover off with Wish and everything, and I do carry the Ice Punch. So he's going to switch out right here. He's going to go into his Magnezone, trying to trap me here. And this is where I make the play that ultimately ends his Magnezone. I'm going to switch into Dragonite, letting it take another Stealth Rocks damage, but it does not necessarily matter because I can actually KO these Magnezones with EQ. And that basically means that it's basically not going to be able to set up a sub, and he's probably thinking of staying in because he was trapped into Focus Blast, so I could take advantage of that with my Dragonite, and making it more sense that he'd stay in. So that ultimately means, so he basically didn't expect my Dragonite switch to be countering his Magnezone switch, but instead his Hydreigon switch, if that makes any sense. So basically, I'm in a good position. I'm probably going to need to sack my Dragonite. He's going to go for a Dark Pulse here, knowing I'm trapped and I'm slower. So that ultimately means that my Dragonite's ended, but it's okay because that has done its job. And now that I know he's trapped into Dark Pulse, I can send in something that can probably take advantage. So I'm going to send in Skarmory just because I want it to be able to basically recover up. And here he's going to do quite a bit, about 100 damage, a little less, more like 98. But he is going to get a flinch, and that ultimately means that I'm not going to be able to take another unless this, yeah, even with lefties, I won't be able to take another. So I'm going to want to switch out. I'm going to go to Tyranitar because that easily takes Dark Pulses. And it's going to take it very, very well, thanks to the Sandstorm and the special defense stat that it gains from it. So it's going to be taking some Sandstorm damage, and I'm just going to go straight for a superpower. I don't want to have to predict anything, and he's going to send in his Conqueror straight on my superpower. This is going to hurt quite a bit. It's going to do about 50 to 55% damage on this thing. And that ultimately means it's a bit useless after this point, meaning that he can't really recover if I send in a Pokemon that he can't. If I use Jellicent to try to take him out, that basically means that he won't be able to recover up on me. So he's going to go for a Mach Punch right here. I just wanted to send in Rotom just because as a bit of a safe check in the end. But he's going to go for a Mach Punch, and that will fortunately get a crit. Unfortunate for him, I should say. So it automatically means he can go for another Mach Punch that will be able to take me out. So basically meaning his Conqueror is in a bit of a better standing, I suppose. But I'm going to take Sandstorm damage, and I'm really okay with this, knowing that I could take it out next turn. And I'm just going to go straight for an Iron Head with my Jirachi, hoping to hit anything. But he's actually going to switch out. Don't really see the use in preserving it, seeing as what low health it's at, and I easily could just set up Stealth Rocks and keep him forced in. So I'm pretty sure he won't want to go for a Dark Pulse right here, seeing as my Jirachi has a nice special defensive stat. I have Tyranitar to counter that. So I'm just going to go right into Jellicent. And he's actually going to go for a Fire Blast. And this is going to hurt me for not too much damage, but it's going to do an okay amount for, really not, never mind. It doesn't do that much at all. So I'm just going to go for a Scald right here. I want to hit whatever might be coming in. And if I hit this Hydreigon, it basically might mean the end of it if I do get a burn. So he's actually going to go into his Fortress to take the Scald. Unfortunately for him, I should say, I'm going to get the burn, and that automatically means his life is shortened. One thing I could have done here, other than I did already, how you see he has the burn, I could have basically stalled his burn out, not let him get any more spikes or anything, and I could have just went for a taunt. That basically would have allowed me to KO him next turn with a Scald instead of actually him surviving right here and get that one later spikes up. That would have been the smarter thing, most likely, because it's very rare that Fortress do carry the Volt Switch. I've only seen one, and that's because I've used it. So basically, he's dead this turn thanks to the burn that I got prior with Scald. So he's actually going to switch out, and he's going to go into this right here. I'm going to switch out, and he's actually going to make a bit of a wise play right here. And he's going to go for a Focus Blast, probably predicting my Tyranitar to come in. But he is going to miss, unfortunately for him. And this basically means that I might have a chance to roost up if I can actually get him to miss another. So he's going to go for another Focus Blast, and he'll miss again. Very, very unfortunate for him. And I'm going to go for a Roost. And this automatically means that my Skarmory will most likely be able to pull off ending the rest of his team. Most likely Conqueror and Hydreigon will be both finished off at this range with a Brave Bird. So he's actually going to switch out right here, making very little sense because a Focus Blast is a most likely a 2-hit KO from that range, but I'm actually going to set up spikes, expecting him to go for that Focus Blast once more, but because I just wanted the Conqueror to die on the switch in, but it does seem to make no difference at all, as I could just Brave Bird this turn, and basically that leaves his Hydreigon coming in, and basically with the combination of Jirachi, Jellicent, and I'm just basically going to use this Skarmory as fodder if he does happen to choose a move that couldn't KO me. So he's going to send Hydreigon. He's going to go for the Dark Pulse, probably just trying to hit everything with a stab attack, and being that it's probably the wisest choice, being as Jellicent is super effective hit by it, and Jirachi is hit neutral, plus it has stab on him. So that's a good game right here as I finish off with a Brave Bird. So comment, like, and subscribe. Merry Christmas, guys.